Here is one of the many examples of how those in control do not want others to know what they're doing. When the dark breaths are discovered for what they've done, they either cover it up or eliminate those who are most heavily involved. Here was Sophie and her brother simply putting words on paper, and they did have a right to express themselves. And for those few words, which could have been expressed in the most derogatory fashion, they were murdered because only the dark breath can create propaganda and distort people's minds. Today, we have the internet, and there is a lot of stuff on it. I'm amazed myself what people put on the web, but then again, what I am presenting is really far out for a lot of people. Society is in a state of unrest, as there are big changes now occurring because of the created causes from the past. Anything that's out of balance with the all is soon shows up, and many times it is deemed as a natural disaster. The dark breaths, with all they have learned over lifetimes, have a huge assortment of backup plans when things don't go their way. But eventually, they must face what they have done and learn to balance out their own lives. All of this gets into the power area, which becomes so with those who decide to take things into their own hands and conquer others. This can be the forming of armies, or even in the business world, where a person tries to steal or manipulate situations or others for their own personal gain. Very few will discover, and most of all realize the all is, because it is far too real. It is not that a person simply finds and realizes the true reality, but that they live with it and perceive what it is and its real, true purpose. The all is stands in its own reality, and there is no dualistic nature to it, as it is the true source, and not the parts that we experience from our physical level. Its true purpose is to that we experience from this physical level. Its true purpose is too far broad for a human mind to comprehend, and so the gods of man have been invented to take its place. As all of this has been established here, people have been conditioned to a fallacy, which from their limited experience seems so real, it does a toy of a child. Here is where humans become engrossed in their own exaggerated egos and vanity, thinking in their little minds that they really do know something. And just because they can think and imagine, they can then create whatever they want, as it all must come out the way that deems it to be. And it may, but only for a short time, even if that small amount of time is millions of years. The effects always show up. A close study of one's dream visions becomes very beneficial. So we don't gotta live with the thing. Everything comes back. At the heart of mankind's dilemma, we find a very interesting fact that most people overlook, and the blatant control factor of the belief systems and what they have termed as confession. This invented idea of the church has caused more nightmares than many of the wars and battles that humans have endured over the ages. It is not hard to see why the belief systems have implemented confusion as a taskmaster for the unaware people to grovel to. The idea is to tell the priests one sin, and then all will be taken care of. Even if a person has no such deeds to their name, the idea is the same. One must confess something. This just gets the idea going. The reality and undermining current is what the church has created this idea for, is to hold people on their unconscious level. If they cannot do it on the physical, the belief systems put one into motion, the idea of confusion a long time ago, and their continued connection to those whom they do not even have personal contact with. These dark-sided and dark-hearted brats actually do black magic on their followers in an unsuspecting way. It is all done through their dreams. Many of them have learned how to enter a person's dreams and set the stage for what they want to happen, which is usually along the lines of control and persuasion. I have personally witnessed Gerald and Durwood doing this with their unsuspecting membership many times, and especially Gerald's wife, Crone, as she is the influence personified in the physical realm. There are many like these three who have organizations and corporations that work hand in hand with the influence. In 1984, the movie Dreamscape is an excellent example of what is taking place without the public knowing it. In it, scientists have learned how to enter a person's dreams and take charge. Rosemary's Baby in 1968 movie gave an excellent example of what can take place. As a woman was raped by the devil and then she had a child. The truth is, there is not just one devil, but millions of them, as humans continually create their own demonic future and make contacts with other unseen realms that these creatures have already reside in. Let me have some feedback on that. Aryana?
I don't know what to say about that one.
Well,
I did see the movie. I'm sorry.
Well, I think it's really, people should be aware of it. When they're dreaming, they leave their bodies. And they say they have a bad dream or they have a good dream. That's it. Where do those dreams come from? A lot of them come from the dark breaths, and and try to influence when we get scared in a dream. Who's that? Who's making us scared? Are we making us scared? What's going on here? Dark or is this some instruction that we should know about? Why was this dream given to us? I mean, there's lots of things that are happening here.
Yes. Excuse me. Yeah, a lot of children they're scared of the dark in their room, and they want a light coming in from the hall or something. And some even say there's monsters under the bed and in the closet and all that, and they're afraid. And I did have an experience when my first grandson was a baby, and he was pretty little, and I saw that he was really being chased by something, a monster. And my daughter related to me that he was crying at night, and she would let him come by her bed and hug him and stuff. And I had another lady, this was back when I was in the corporation, and I think that their word was still valid. And I had, I know what it was. I took on the real side, my grandson to my lady friend's house, who was in the corporation, and she just lived in a small trailer, and yet on the other side, she had a lot of rooms, and she put him separate in a room to protect him from this negative entity, and apparently we must have dissuaded it from attacking him because my daughter related later that he stopped having nightmares. So I wonder if that had helped. And she was preventing me from telling him about the corporation, and she was always against it, and she didn't want to hear about it. And you know what? She was right in the long run.
That's where we come in with the education. And I had an experience when I was about 8 years old. We just moved into this house in Palo Alto, California, and I was an only child. And there was two ghosts in the house. They were the former owners. They were two old ladies, and they used to walk around at night. It was really scary because
Wow.
I'd either go to the living room, watch TV, or else hide under the covers in my bed because it was not safe walking around other parts of the room, especially the basement. That was really scary. But you see, the kids pick up on this. They I couldn't really tell my parents. My parents were kind of duh about it, anything like that. As far as I know, I mean, they may have known more, but as far as I know, they're just Christian, church-going Christians. So I really had nowhere to go with any kind of assistance to understanding what was going on. So for me, it was scary because I didn't know the bigger picture, that these are just entities that are attached. They have an attachment to their location, their physical, and they may not know about other life levels or accessing other areas, without the body. I mean, just basically they're kind of ignorant to that. Once they lose the body, they don't know what to do. A lot of them think they're still alive, and that's why they stick around. These two old ladies that stuck around. It's a very old house. It's built in, I guess, it's 1913, somewhere around there. So that's where we come in with the education, especially the kids. New school, homeschool would be encouraging, fantasy and dream, sharing your dreams, and then giving them feedback and acknowledging them, in any way we can, and encouraging them to maintain this relationship with other life levels, because the kids in the academia here, the literal school system, they lose it quite quite quickly once they start getting programmed. So we come in where we're just really give the child freedom to express themselves and to really be able to share what they bring back, because they do bring back valuable information for the adults, even because they're more on a pure and sincere level. They haven't been programmed yet. So that's part of this.
I think that's really important. Even as children have their little dreams, and they ask mommy and daddy, and they just kind of brush it off. But there's a lot in a dream. A lot of information that is brought to us if we can just acknowledge that these dreams really are important to us. And why was I told about this dream and this, shown this in my dream? Dreams are really fascinating, actually, if you once get into them and try and decide and can share with others what the dreams mean, and you can figure it out, because every dream has something important to say to you, I think. It shows us ourselves. It shows that we sometimes don't want to look at, and sometimes we learn from our dreams. So dreams are important. And besides that, they're fun. They're fun to share with people. Everybody likes to hear a dream. So, and it's just time for us to conclude. And I want us all to have very wonderful dreams tonight. Dreams that we get it. We understand what's going on. And by golly, they can't hide that forever for us. And the guides will be there and sharing our experiences are really great. And we learn from each other. We really do. So with those wonderful words of wisdom, I'm going to close the book on Dwayne, the great writer, his dream visions. And tonight, I want everybody to have really wonderful dreams, happy dreams tonight that you can share with us. Please do that. That would be kind of fun to share some of our dreams in one of these, one of these evenings that we get together. That would be fun. And I think we could probably learn something. Okay, Aryana, thank you so much for being with us. And I hope you get the pleasure of hearing you again, being with us again. And thanks, Tim. It's wonderful that you're always so... Oh, yes, and I'm going to close. I think we should do this. Let's all say, then do the new you. And so this will keep us aware. New.
Okay.
Good night, everyone. Till next time.
Good night. Happy dreams.
Yes, you get happy dreams.